Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of American Soccer Quick Kicks. I'm your host, David Wright, and the World Cup is here. The United States has just completed their two send-off friendlies, and next up, the World Cup. So let's talk about it. I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm coming out of these pair of friendlies feeling very, very good, very positive, much better than the Belgium and Portugal matches that we had in March. There's a lot to take from this, a lot of positives to take from this. I didn't come on after the Senegal match, but we won that game 3-2. It wasn't even really that close. We played wholesale lineup change in the second half, and we got a really bad blunder, unfortunately, from Miles Robinson, compounded by an error by Chris Brady. We ended up giving up a goal to make it 3-2. We still came out with a win. But when you look at the first half where we had our main guys in there, it was a strong performance and against a good Senegal team. And then we come out against Germany. We lose yesterday to Germany. But again, there are a lot of positives to take from it. I want to talk about that a little bit. We did lose 2-1. But when it comes to friendlies, the result is not what's important. It's really about performances. You want to look at how did we play. We came out bizarrely. Okay, again, Pochettino making choices that none of us fully understand, but he starts Miles Robinson on defense. This is necessitated by injury to Chris Richards, who went down in his final game with Crystal Palace just before this camp. And he is insisting, and all the reporting maintains that he will be ready in time for the World Cup. But Pochettino scratched him from the lineup, from the game day roster against Germany. He was not available, and so we had to play somebody else on defense. And whatever reason, Pochettino chose Miles Robinson. Other than that, I feel like we got the starting lineup. Like what we saw is really what I expect to see against Paraguay. Lord help us. I hope Chris Richards is back in central defense when that day comes. There were other options at center back that Pochettino could have gone with, namely Mark McKenzie, Aaron Trusty, and he chose not to do that. And we gave up a goal in less than 2 minutes, the beginning of the game. And Miles Robinson, it was kind of his guy he was marking that scored off the corner kick. And it's easy to blame him. It's easy to zero in on him. And I think he can carry some of the blame, but I also don't think he carries all of it. You know, you can't really look at just that one touch of the ball and blame one guy. First of all, there was space there. Like our team was playing high, like outside of the 6-yard box to kind of force the Germany to be further away from our goal. When you do that, though, when you're allowing for that space, then that goalkeeper has to be really bold and coming off his line and just controlling that 6-yard box. And I don't think Freeze did that. I think he stayed back timidly on his line. And I think if he were in a match that he were more comfortable with, maybe he comes out, maybe he takes care of that. You also can rewind and look at, what was the play that led to – I'm sorry, I think I said corner kick. It was a free kick. What was the foul that led to that? Was that foul necessary? And what was the situation that made that person think he needed to foul? And so there's a lot, right? There's a lot of fluidity to all of that led to that goal by Germany. And wow, we feel down right away, right? We give up one goal to a top 10 team, to Germany of all people, and we're playing with Miles Robinson and Tim Ream as 2/3 of our back defense. And we're like, this is going to be a long day. We're going to get destroyed. This is going to be embarrassing. And here's the thing. It wasn't embarrassing. Like we hung with Germany. We settled into the game nicely after about 15 or 20 minutes. And here's an indicator that if you're not totally used to soccer, here's something you can look for to kind of get a sense of how the game's going. And that is, are teams playing through the midfield or are they going over the top? Because if a team's playing over the midfield, that means they feel like they got a pretty good grasp of the game. They got a pretty good sense of control, and they're confident in being able to control the ball. The long ball tactic is kind of the tactic of the underdog or a tactic of desperation sometimes. And we saw them playing through Germany, at least in some parts of this game. So I think we kind of did fine hanging with them. And then, of course, we equalized before the half is over. Jedi Robinson, who, because of injury, has not played a lot for Pochettino, but he scores one of the greatest goals in U.S. history. It was an absolute golazo. So that was amazing and got the whole crowd hyped. And can I pause for a moment and say, what a crowd. Chicago really brought it, really turned out. Fantastic environment as they send the team off to the World Cup. Fantastic scenes and largely a pro-USA team. It was really great to see packing it out at Soldier Field. So I feel like, we did, give up the winner in the second half. But this is Germany. And we were never played off the field. It was never a case of men versus boys, I don't think. We're playing through them, and there were times where we were dominating. The end numbers, the final numbers, when the game is over, the U.S. had more possession of the ball than Germany did. It was like 52-48 or something like that, which is surprising considering how much Germany seemed to be dominating possession early in the game. And to be fair, it's probably a reflection of Germany holding the lead. And so it's game state tactics, right? They don't need to have the ball when they have the lead and they're trying to kill the game in the second half. I get it. But still, the point is, I feel like the United States held with them pretty well. Now, did Germany ever get out of second gear? I don't know. Maybe not. But my point is this. It's still Germany, and it's still a top 10 team. And we're not playing anybody close to their caliber in the group stage. And so I come away feeling – and let me finish that sentence. I come away feeling very encouraged and thinking that we're going to be just fine in the group stage. We have a lot of positives to take out of this Germany match. But also, I hope I didn't forget what I was about to say. Dang it. Maybe it'll come back to me. But it was good to see – here it is, the resilience. Think about how when we gave up goals in March to Belgium and Portugal, we kind of capitulated, right? It just all kind of fell apart. Like mentally, we just checked out of the game. We got discouraged, mistake compounded upon mistake, and we ended up giving up 4 or 5 goals. We did not do that. We showed resilience against Germany. There is a mental toughness to this team that has not existed for a long time. That was the problem during the Berhalter era. That was the thing we were looking for the new manager to come in and correct. There was this culture, there was this feeling of softness in the culture of the team. And Pochettino comes in late. He's only been with the team 2 years. He's having to do wild choices, wild experimentation, making decisions based on small samples, and all these things that have us on edge and a nervous wreck. But I kind of feel like he's got this team ready at the exact right time. I love the change in the mental attitude that I see and the hustle and the belief that I see from this group. So we're rolling into the group stage of this World Cup. I assume the vibes are very high, very positive, and we should be having a lot of confidence. And there's a lot to take away because Senegal is no slouch either. They've been considered one of the dark horses of this tournament, and we beat them in one half, really. I mean, because the second half was kind of a mess. So I am feeling really, really good about this. So I want to spend a little bit of time. Let's talk about the lineup, because the lineup, I think, is a pretty good dress rehearsal of exactly what Pochettino is going to roll out for us in the World Cup. It was in the 3-4-3 that we were expecting. It was almost all according to chalk, okay? So up here you had Pulisic, you had Balogun. I'm going to skip this spot for right now. And we had Jedi Robinson, Tyler Adams. Going to skip this one. These are the two I want to talk about. Had Serginho Dest and Alex Freeman. And then back here we have Tim Ream and Miles Robinson. So Tim Ream, I don't feel like he should be on the field just because of his age. I mean, he's a 38-year-old guy now playing in MLS. I don't get it. I don't see how he can keep up the speed of the international game against theoretically the absolute best players in the world in the sport. But he's been named captain. So that's a pretty good indicator that he's going to be seeing lots of playing time and he's going to be a starter for Pochettino. That has me worried. if our defense ever gets caught out, like way up the field, like give the ball over unexpectedly and we're out of position, we saw it happen against Senegal, we're in trouble. Ream doesn't have the speed. In the center back position, we played Miles Robinson. I think he's catching all the heat. Everybody is saying he's the last guy on this roster and should not see the field at all in the World Cup. And what's he even doing here at all? I kind of agree with all that. I really do. We have too many center backs on this roster. We need more midfielders on the roster. And I don't know what he's doing here. And I don't know why he got the nod in this game. I hope Pochettino has seen enough to know that he can't play Miles. And I don't say that with any hate toward Miles. Miles came up through Atlanta United, and I think he's a fantastic guy, and I like him as a person, and I wish him well, and I root for him still, even though he now plays for Cincinnati. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's an international player. I think his opportunity in international soccer has passed him by because I just don't see it. But let's talk about this, because what we had was Weston McKennie and Malik Tillman, which I wasn't really tracking Tillman as well as I should have. But the twist for me is that it looked like it was more of Tillman in this deep midfield position, or maybe playing a little bit ahead, essentially. And it was McKennie who was playing further up. I like that a lot. I looked at this roster construction, and I thought McKennie was going to have to play in the midfield with Tyler Adams because we didn't really have a lot of like serious, people to fill that spot. And Pochettino seems to have kind of taken that personally and is kind of demonstrating he's got other options in that area. Honestly, I don't think it's out of line to think we might see Sebastian Berhalter start at some point in the group stage. And certainly he'll be coming in as a sub. By the way, he's just gotten a move to Derby County in the English Championship, so he won't be in MLS for very long. All the anti-MLS people out there won't be able to throw that against him. He's his future continues to look very bright and is on an upward trajectory. But by playing, all right, I want to get into my Tillman and McKennie reaction here, and it starts with this. Pochettino has done some wild experimentation, and some of it makes no sense, like playing Pulisic as a false nine, for example. Like, I don't get that. Like, nobody gets that. That didn't work. There have been two positive things to come out of his experimentation, and I am very happy for both of them. The first thing is Alex Freeman emerging as a center back. He has not played as a center back, or he was not playing as a center back in Orlando. I don't know what he's doing in Spain. He did make the move to Spain back in January, and he's played typically as either a right, like an outside back, a fullback, or a wing back, because he is good on the ball, has good technical skill. But what he's done for Pochettino, and he's done it well, is he's tucked inside and he's played as a center back, which we need that. We need somebody to step up in that area, and he's done that, and he's done a great job of it. I now have a lot of confidence in him as a center back. And really, my opinion of him over the last year and a half has just gone straight up. Because if you'll recall, when Pochettino first took over, all of a sudden, Max Arfsten and Alex Freeman were like his two favorite guys in the world. It's like, where's that coming from? Why are we spending time on these guys? Max is on this team. He's going to be a depth piece. He's not going to be a starter. But Alex Freeman has continued to just climb up and up and up. And now here he is, for all appearances, going to be starting at right center back, and he's made the move to Spain. So I'm really happy for him. Tillman is a ball controller, a distributor. He plays for Bayern Leverkusen. He plays, I just looked it up, he averages about 58 minutes per appearance. So he's not putting in full 90s necessarily, but he's starting about half the time. And when he's not starting, he's like the first option off the bench. So he is a very significant contributor to a major Bundesliga team. He is no slouch. He's got cred. They did finish sixth in the Bundesliga this year, and is going to play in Europa League. Tillman in the middle, or he's going to play midfield. He's going to be paired with Tyler Adams, but he's probably going to be playing where Adams can be more of the traditional number 6. I could see Tillman as more of an 8, or even at times in the attack, pushing up a little bit higher into the 10 position, leaving McKennie free to be on the wing. And that's the other positive result of Pochettino's experimentation that I wanted to talk about. McKennie has always had technical skill on the ball, but he's always played as a defensive midfielder. And that's my understanding. I don't watch any Juventus games, but I understand he plays for Juventus in Serie A, and I understand that that's kind of his role. When he's in good with the team, his standing with Juventus seems to go up and down all the time. But when he's playing, he's not playing up high, even though he's got that ball control, that skill for it. One thing Pochettino has experimented with is playing him up high at the winger, and it has paid off. So if that's what we get, if we're going to get Pulisic, Balogun, and McKennie across the top with Tillman paired with Adams, I'm feeling really good about that. I'm feeling really good about that. We need Chris Richards back. Okay, Chris Richards is our best defender. And let's just hope he's back in time and he's healthy enough that he remains, that guy for us. Ideally, we're going to see Richards in the middle and put either McKenzie or Trusty. I would put Trusty here maybe just because he's left-footed, and so he might be a more natural fit on that side of the field, but that's not going to happen. Pochettino's going to play Ream. We just got to get used to that. It's going to happen. And so if we can have Ream, Richards, and Freeman, if we get Jedi, Tyler Adams, Malik Tillman, who may also be sliding up into this area, and Serginho Dest over here, Pulisic, Balogun, McKennie. I like that team. I like that team a lot. That team gets me excited. I want to see it. We still have Gio Reyna that could come up off the bench. He's a guy that you would put in either in this 10 position or in this winger position when we are dominating possession, when we've got the ball and the other team is just bunkered in and we have to find a way to break them down. Reyna is the guy that you want to bring in the second half and break that down. If that's not the case, okay, if we're playing on the counter, if we're the ones that are bunkering, he's probably not the guy you want to bring in. We do have other options. Perhaps right there it's going to be Zendejas right there. Tim Weah seems to have fallen into being Serginho Dest's backup, which, that's fantastic when you have that kind of depth. So I am really, really excited about this. I feel like Pochettino did it. He changed the culture. That was the number one challenge, changing the culture, getting the buy-in, and identifying the players, getting them in the best spots. And I feel like we've done exactly that. Pulisic has had a terrible slump all year long. This window, he's come alive. That is so good to see. I will throw this little twist in there. I think everybody's expecting Balogun to be the guy, and he's been like number one on the depth chart for a couple years now, and there's no problem with that at all. But here's the plot twist. Ricardo Pepi and Christian Pulisic seem to just play well together. Their combination is just better. And the question is, do you put your best players out there or do you put your best team out there, how they play together? Because if you want to make the case that Pepe needs to start because of the way he plays with Pulisic, I will not argue against you on that. I don't think that would be a problem either. Is Balogun does he get the edge overall over Pepe? Probably. But is he the best choice considering how everybody plays together? That's an interesting question. So I'll leave that to you. So the question is, are we ready? Do you think we're ready? Am I getting any comments? I'm not even looking over here. People help me out. I don't know where my chats are supposed to be. I appreciate everybody jumping in. I don't see, I've lost track of my software here. Oh, well, I'm going to keep going. So I have a prediction / expectation of what we're going to do in the group stage. And it's pretty optimistic. But before I give it to you, a couple of things I want to touch on. First of all, I want to repeat it again. Fox One is the streaming solution. If you're looking to stream this and don't want to buy cable, you don't want to shell out for Fubo or YouTube TV, which are really expensive. Fox One, $20 a month. That's how I'm going to be watching the World Cup. So if you're looking for that kind of solution, there you go. That's what I'm going to be doing. But can I take a minute and talk about these hydration breaks? I don't like them at all. So what's happening is at the halfway point of each half, there's a mandatory hydration break that all teams are going to take. This has kind of been in place for a little while, where if you're outdoors and the temperature is above a certain threshold, then these hydration breaks are kind of put into place. But in this World Cup, are mandatory across all games, no matter what, no matter the temperature, no matter if they're indoors or outdoors. We saw it happen in March when the United States played indoors in Atlanta against Belgium and Portugal, and they still used it even though it's not 95 degrees inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So why are they doing it? Well, guess what? We're getting commercial breaks. This is basic. We're now playing quarters instead of halves, and we're getting commercial breaks. And I really, really don't like that selfishly, because one of the appeals to me of the game is the constant flow of action. I don't want there to be breaks. This is soccer. It needs to keep going. I think putting that in fundamentally changes the game, but not just because of the interruption of the action, but because they're essentially getting a timeout. It's an opportunity for the managers to huddle the team together and go over tactics. We saw Pochettino bring out his laptop and everybody gathered around it. Nobody's caring about drinking water or Gatorade or whatever. They're trying to get an adjustment from the coach of what to do on the field. And that might sound like, well, what's the big deal? We that happens all the time. Basketball, football, well, this is soccer. And one of the things that I love about the sport up until now is that you don't get that communication with the manager during the flow of the game. The players, to a large degree, have to figure it out on the field at game speed. I love that. That's one of the unique things about the sport that's a huge appeal to me. And this is really changing that in a fundamental way. FIFA, I guess it's FIFA and Fox, they want that opportunity to break away, sell some ad dollars, but you're giving teams a chance to basically have a timeout and make adjustments with their coach right there in the middle. And I think you're going to – and I think we saw that in the Senegal match. I think we saw Senegal win those timeouts, and they came out with the right adjustments from those hydration breaks, and it became a different game. I don't think that needs to happen. I think it's the manager's job to get the team ready for the game day. And then once you're out there, the team's got to figure it out on their own at game speed, maybe get some adjustments at halftime. That's why I don't like these hydration breaks is because they're basically timeouts, and we're basically playing quarters, and the clock doesn't stop through the hydration break anyway. So it's all frustrating to me. I don't like it. I'm a grumpy old man. You got to tell me what you think of it. I've got one comment here. I figured out how to show my comments. Pepe and Pulisic had good chemistry. Thanks, John. You're absolutely right. They played really well together. I don't have if the reason you're starting Pepe is because of you like his combination with Pulisic, I think that makes perfect sense. I don't have any problem with it at all. All right, you ready for my expectation / prediction? I am going to say it right now. I predict that we win 2 group stage matches. We win 2. You might go, oh, well, okay, well, thanks, Dave. We've never done that before. That's never happened. Go back and look, and I only started 1990, okay? But you look at all our World Cups, we've never won more than 1 game in the group stage. I say it happens this time. We're going to do it. It might just be Paraguay and Australia, our first 2 matches. Turkey, I think, is still considered the favorite in the group. We'll be playing them third. We have a chance to win this group. And, of course, the way the brackets work, you want to win it. It gives you the best chance going forward, all that. I think we win 2 group stage matches. That's my prediction. And I'm feeling pretty good about this. We hung with Germany. And if we had Chris Richards on the field, maybe we don't lose. It will be a while. It'll be some time into the tournament before we're going to meet somebody of Germany's caliber. So we have a lot of reason to be encouraged. Just went down the lineup for you. I like that lineup. If you put Richards at center back and keep everybody else the same from yesterday, I'm a happy guy. So I think we have absolutely every reason to be excited about this World Cup. It's going to be awesome. It all kicks off for us on Friday, 9:00 Eastern, 8:00 Central. We're opening up against Paraguay at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Now, keep an eye on what's going on at SoFi Stadium because there's a labor dispute right now with all the stadium workers. They have actually authorized a strike. They have not gone on strike, but they can. They're allowed, like their union they've authorized it. They can walk off at any moment if they want to talks aren't going to continue until June 8th. Our match against Paraguay is on June 12th. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I assume it's all going to get worked out. We're not going to have to see a strike there. But I became aware of that today. I want to let you know. We're kicking off Friday night against Paraguay. We come back the next Friday. We're going to play at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I think in Seattle, against Australia. And then our third match is the following Thursday, the 25th, again at night, again in California, and that will be against Turkey. I'll be watching all of it on Fox 1. I hope you'll be watching with me. I'll get on here as much as I can, give you my reactions and my thoughts. I want to have an active chat during the World Cup. Tell me what you think. Leave your comments below. What do you think of our team? What do you think of the state of our team? Are we ready? Did Pochettino get us ready in time? And do you have any problems with the lineup that we saw against Germany, not counting the Miles Richards thing? All right, let me know. And I will see you very soon, because the 2026 World Cup from the United States is kicking off this week. This is it. We're here. We're ready. Let's see what happens. I'm excited. It took me a long time to get here, but now I'm pumped up. I love seeing the crowd in Chicago. I hope you did too. And I'm feeling really good. Two group stage wins. I'm calling it right now. And I will talk to you again next time.